Composing Gloves here, and this is our first like real video official look at not inversions, at voicing. Voicing is a very important thing, and we've sort of been just using the piano up till this point. So here is our grand staff. So what's the big deal about voicing? Well, if you need to answer that question, go watch my video on cadences. We see that voicing very quickly becomes quite the topic. So voicing, just what is that? It is when you rearrange your chord in an order. It's just the way you voice your chord. That sounded kind of weird. Let's give you an example. So here, I'll put down some whole notes. Yeah, whole notes are nice. So here's like a C. Well, A minor. Let's just do A minor. That's an A minor chord. Okay. Here is another A minor chord. That's an A minor chord. Here is another A minor chord. Ooh, well, let's keep it to the triad. C. That's an A minor chord. Like, you might be saying these are inversions. Well, remember, versions are just kind of like what the bass note is. So we have a different name for the way we do things. These are called voicings. And voicings are very important. As you can imagine, this chord will sound substantially different than that chord. Like, just listen to it. Look at that. That sounds way different. Listen to this one. Like, we could write a song just using that. Okay, so if you were in EDM land, you could. So, what's another example of this? Well, let's give you another voicing. So, as you see, these can sound very, very different. We'll put one down here. This would be different voicing than that one. And we even go crazy. Put a note up there. Ooh, buddy, look at that one. So, we get to a lot of rules. There's particular times. There's certain ones you just won't see in certain styles. So, voicing, we just need to be made aware of it. So, when I say closest voicing, that means it is the closest the chords can get together. Like, it can't get any closer and have the same intervals. It'd have to be something else. This, for example, is a closest voicing. So these intervals cannot get any closer. They are, they're just right there. We could give a different close voicing if we wanted to count it from descending. We could go like, let's see here. We have, this is some of the joys of Sibelius that I've not yet figured out. Okay, so what was it? That was a G up there. So this would be a closest voicing from another direction. So there's different closest voicings. So like this is the closest voicing. But this, for example, it's greater than one of these is greater than an octave. So therefore there's another spot that note could be, i.e. this note could be there. That sense. Those suspended chords. Ooh, so 80s. So yes, that's that. That's close voicing. Far voicing is obviously the opposite, where you have like an octave gap is a dead giveaway because, hey, look at that. I can put that an octave closer. So that's far voicing and near voice. That's close voicing and far voicing. You need to be aware of this because later on it becomes a big thing. For example, the 4 chord is generally considered consonant until it reaches the second inversion. Third inversions are generally not considered all that consonant either because the intervals change, and in particular styles of music, that could be a very, very big deal. And pop music, normally you can get away with stuff, but most things stick around to these inversions unless you're doing a cadence or something where this may be, more beneficial to go from a second inversion to a root position. Sometimes it's just close voicings. Like it's easy to see like what the best option is usually. So let's say we're working with this and we need to get to a C major. Well, look at this. We have a G, we have a C, and we have an E. And we want to get to C. Well, it's already a C major. What am I talking about? I saw a G and read G major. Okay, let's say that this. Let's put this here. Let's see. G, D, B. Let's take this B. Stick it down here. Whatever, we'll do a far voicing, we'll do a far voicing. So I'm thinking of close voicing. I'm a piano player, so I naturally just think, close. If you're a guitar player, you don't really think about it because you have like the fret positions memorized. So you're not thinking of sheet music. Piano players have this psychedelic link to sheet music. It's like, ooh, yeah. But guitar players, it's a much bigger gap. If you're really, really good, you could have the link. So anyways, okay, let's say this is it. What's our best option? So we could go C, we could resolve this up, and then the E, we could resolve that to an E, and this is a G, we could leave that G right where it's at. So we go from this. And that's a really nice, inversion. Our voicing is closer to that voicing, so it sounds kind of nice. Now, if we wanted to like use inversions and stuff, let's say that like we're going from a D minor okay, so here we've got, well, what am I saying? This is a B diminished. So we have diminished to C major. Let's make this chord, oh my gosh, I'm unsure how to select all these at the same time. G. So there we've got a G, and now we're gonna move over to a C. What is the best voicing to do that? The best, well, in this case, it's the close voicing. What is the best inversion? I think I may have interchanged those terms a couple times. I'm sorry for that. But anyways, hopefully you get the idea. The voicing is, how it goes, the inversions, whatever notes in the bass. So for example, we're going from 5 to 1. Now this isn't going to be like the strong, well, this one actually could be quite strong. No, it's not. It's going to be a weak one. We'll do the closest inversion. So the least amount of movement possible. So here's a G. Well, guess what? A G is in C major. So we'll look at that. Bang. Can't get much closer than that. Then we've got this B. Well, hey, that B is pretty close to a C. And this D could resolve up to an E. And so that's a very, very close inversion. Sounds very fluid. So hey, that's the thing. So so we want to use close inversions, and voicing is sort of the art of this on a much larger scale, because inversion is just sort of dealing with whatever notes in the bass. The voicing is, determines all that upper stuff. And when you have different actual voices, like you've got strings, and then you have brass and woodwinds, some of this stuff could get quite amazing, but those are generally referred to as colors. And the way you use them in voicing, it becomes like this compound effect of like things, because then you're dealing with texture, voicing, inversions, note ranges, and sometimes they're octaves apart by like definition, like a tuba and a flute. Like a flute's pretty high and a tuba's pretty low. So anyways, that's general thing. I just want you to be aware of, what voicing really is, because I've used it a couple times. So you should be, oh my gosh, should be quite familiar with it. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day. Composing Gloves here, and today we're going to be talking about pad chords with Citrus. So let's hop into this jazz. Here we go. So this is what I got. Let me turn this down. If you don't like the bendy thing, you turn that off. If you're unfamiliar with the idea, I turned it back on. That's why I came back on. If you're unfamiliar with